Hey you, thanks for joining me. Welcome to another monthly favorites video. Today I'll be talking about March 2025 and just some things that I enjoyed this month. So in terms of music, I have 2 new albums and then 1 new discovery. So the 2 new albums are both in French, like title-wise. They're not actually French albums, but they have French titles, which I thought was kind of funny, and they're both from Canadian artists. So the first album that was a new release was from Five Alarm Funk, and they released their album Force Majeure. And these guys they're so awesome. I love them. They got a great sound, really funky, really fun, gets me like moving pretty much all the time that I listen to it. And honestly, they're probably in my like top 10 bands, maybe even top 5. Just love these guys. And this album was just more fun, great to move to, great to put away laundry to. Absolutely was vibing with it. So the other one is a new album from L'Omelette, Il Fait Qu'on Bouge. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the heck out of this stuff. I took French in school up to like grade 9, as Canadians have to do, and I am still so awful at French. So this album, not in French, by the way, if that like I know it sounds like it's probably like French and that you're not going to understand anything. Literally the one song is in French, which is like the title track, but every other song is in English, and I really like this album. It's very sonically different. It's all over the place sound-wise. To even describe this band, it's kind of hard. Like, their singer is also playing like saxophone in between singing. I think she also plays synth, and she is just like this tiny little powerhouse vocally. And then they just have like a kind of funky, jazzy, like sometimes more punky sound to them, and I love it. It's just really fun, and lyrically, I liked a lot of the songs on this album, and they like have fun little music videos that I'll link to as well. Highly recommend giving them a listen. They are touring across Canada a little bit throughout the spring, summer months. So if you live in Canada, maybe check out their tour dates and see if they're anywhere near you. They are really fun to see live. And then one other album that I discovered is Boeing 808 by Toph. Now, this album came out like years ago, and I kind of stumbled upon this stuff just because I was looking up music that has cello in it and wanted to give some examples of like different genres using cello for my video on how I changed my mind about comics. So I just stumbled into this from like a link on a Reddit thread, and I really like it. I love cello. Cello is just like an instrument that makes me feel something in my chest, and it's like sad but also powerful. It's such a beautiful instrument to me. So just like combining that with the rap, but also kind of making it work for me, I really enjoyed it. So I will link to his stuff. He is kind of hard to find online. I think he might have stopped doing music under this project, unfortunately, because I haven't really seen any like new updates since like 2020. On his like social media. I think he had a Facebook page and stuff, but there's nothing new. His website doesn't have anything. So unfortunately, this might be the only thing of it that exists, but it's really cool. So give it a listen if you want. And then watching things wise, I watched Jurassic Park, not for the first time, but for a rewatch. I think I watched it for the first time in like grade 5 or 6, like end of the school year. We watched it like in class, I think. And I don't remember feeling that it was that scary. I don't remember feeling like it was like that intense. And watching it now, like as an adult, and really appreciating like all of the things that it does, like the music, the tension building, all of these aspects are so good in this movie. It just holds up. The like the effects and everything, the like dinosaurs, like they still look scary, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was so good. So definitely another win, like just for being reminded of like how good things can be, and how cool like not showing things is. I talked about in the last month that I watched Jaws, and how like, you know, not seeing the shark can be so good for building that intensity. And with Jurassic Park, because I think Jurassic Park came out later, but it seems like Steven Spielberg really took that idea and used it in this movie, where like it's not about always showing the big scary dinosaur. It's about showing like, oh, look at that water, look at how it's moving, listen to those thumps, like that's freaky. And so showing that way what we should be scared of, rather than just always having these like head-on shots of what we're being scared of, really builds that intensity. And this movie like does that so well. And like the kitchen scene with the kids trying to hide, oh, just so like, ugh. I think it was really well done. We tried watching some of the second movie and it was like, oh, this is not it. This is not it. Haven't finished it. Don't know if we will, but the first one was lovely. I'm so glad to have rewatched that again. Fargo season 5 was another one that I really enjoyed. I had watched all the other seasons of Fargo and didn't even realize that there was a 5th season. And so just check that one out. I think we watched it over the course of like a weekend. And I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's the most popular or the most like preferred season of the show for most people, but I really liked it. It wasn't as much of like a period piece, timepiece kind of thing, but I really liked the characters in this one. I thought there was kind of some good humor, some good intensity, and just so many strong women characters in this one. Reading wise, read lots of comics, which I'll talk more about on my other comic channel, but I really liked Persepolis. I've been reading Ice Cream Man, which is so interesting stylistically, in terms of like the things that they try doing in these books are just incredible for just, I think, moving the needle in terms of the medium, because it's like not everything that they do for me is a hit in these anthologies, but the things that they do just try anyways. I just have such an appreciation for just going for it, and that's what this anthology does really, really well for me. I also love Ducks by Kate Beaton. My favorite thing was Monsters. Book 1 and 2 were so good. I really love the art in them. I really love the characters and how they're not all good, all bad. They're really complex. And it talks about a lot of issues that are still relevant today, but did take place in the 1960s. And it really takes you into that time and some of the things that were really tense at that point. I also read Blankets by Craig Thompson, which I really liked. And I read The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. This book was like an uncomfortable read. I listened to it. It's about 2.5 hours on audiobook. But I think it's so important. It talks about like things we don't always want to talk about in regards to religion. It talks about a lot of things in regards to racism and just in regards to being born Black, some of the expectations that were on him and his family being born Black. It talks about like the complexities of identity, which I think was really interesting. And I thought it was really interesting how this book actually like talks about basically the idea of terror management theory, which is in a theory in psychology that was not around when this book was written, but it basically kind of summarizes it. So terror management theory talks about how we buffer our fear of death with our self-esteem. Sometimes that's positive things, sometimes that's negative things, sometimes it's putting ourselves into groups and putting others into other groups. Sometimes it's doing things, spending money, trying to, make our identity, our sense of self, feel better by just earning a lot of money, things like that. So he says, life is tragic simply because the earth turns and the sun inexorably rises and sets, and one day, for each of us, the sun will go down for the last time. Perhaps the whole root of our trouble, the human trouble, is that we will sacrifice all the beauty of our lives, will imprison ourselves in totems, taboos, crosses, blood sacrifices, steeples, mosques, races, armies, flags, and nations in order to deny the fact of death, which is the only fact we have. It seems to me that one ought to rejoice in the fact of death, ought to decide, indeed, to earn one's death by confronting with passion the conundrum of life. One is responsible to life. It is the small beacon in that terrifying darkness from which we come and to which we shall return. One must negotiate this passage as nobly as possible for the sake of those that are coming after us. But white Americans don't believe in death, and this is why the darkness of my skin so intimidates them. And this is also why the presence of the Negro in this country can bring about its destruction. Interesting. I will leave you with that for a food for thought. Thanks for joining me. If you have any things that you really enjoyed over the past month that you would like to leave a little comment on, I'd love that. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.